Hello everyone. It's James again. And before I start out this video, I just want to say, all work in this video contains 100% original content of and by myself James Smith, otherwise known as Bgood 4000, and was uniquely created with NAWMAL software, by myself James Smith. As I purchased commercial rights from NAWMAL to produce my unique and original video with this software. Commentary is uniquely my own thoughts, feelings, and expressions. Now that I have that out of the way, how has everyone been doing? Hopefully well. I really do hope you are growing, healing, and living a blessed life. I also want to say sorry again for the gap in between videos. But with that said, I did want to talk to you today about something related to narcissism, narcissists, and dealing with them in our day-to-day life, along with just what we see happening around us in general. You see, the really cunning, smart narcissists like to operate in such a way. It's hard for you and others to know what is happening before it's too late. And even when that happens, they operate in such a way they can walk off into the crowd without anyone knowing or really caring about what they just did to you. Now it's fair to say, even with covert narcissists, people do pick up on this over time. But mostly people don't want to deal with the mess of dealing with them and to become a new target. Or there are those other people, let's say at work, that are narcissists themselves, that more than likely won't try to help you out against another narcissist. Now here's the thing. Don't rule that out, as a narcissist can help a regular normal person against another narcissist, if it serves him or her. But generally speaking, if you just lost your job or got demoted at the hands of a narcissist boss, don't expect another coworker or manager that is possibly a narcissist themselves to run to your rescue. Or someone that is normal and decent that doesn't want to get involved. So what happens is, they just blend off into the crowd to do what they do all over again to someone else. And if they are really good, they might switch groups of friends, or people they associate with, so they can start all over. Then they meet a new target, and they think everything is great. But then little things start happening. But this new target just can't put their finger on it. They sit back and try to think about things, but it doesn't make sense. So they stop listening to their gut feeling, and they go with the flow. And the danger in this is, if this new target, or you in this instance, make an excuse in your mind here, or an excuse in your mind there, regarding things this person is doing that is triggering your gut instinct, you are in effect training yourself to not see what is going on and to not trust your gut response, which is what the narcissist wants. You see, there are overt narcissists for sure. They show up. They are brash and loud. And you know they are in the room. They boss people around. Although they might covertly use people through charm and manipulation. But in their dealings with people they can be a bit much. If that makes sense. The covert narcissist, though they might come on strong with flattery and gifts, they might know how to be kind and not loud and mean while they are grooming and training their new target. And in this covert way they are acting. They will do or say certain things that might make you think, wow, that was strange. Or that was out of character for them. What I mean is, they might act like they have love and empathy for everyone. But one day, an old homeless person is taking a bit longer to cross the street in front of this person's car. And you hear them blurt out a mean, hurtful statement about this old homeless person not moving fast enough. All of this is shocking because you've heard this person in similar situations show compassion and care. So you are like, wait a minute. That doesn't match. But because you are forgiving in nature, which is indeed a good quality, a quality the narcissist will see and exploit in you for their own gain. But because of this trait you have, and you just can't put your finger on that, there is something not good about this person. You file this instance away and you move forward with this relationship. It's always I just can't put my finger on it. And it's because of this feeling that you and others have about this person you are dealing with. They are able to do what they have done to you and to others again and again and again. Narcissists. At least some of them like to operate in the gray. And the better the narcissist gets at doing this, the more successful of a narcissist they will become. I know that sounds strange saying that. But it's true. They get better at mind scrambling people. Confusing them. Making people think. No. No way. No one would do such a thing. You can apply the same information regarding your run-of-the-mill narcissist to those that are higher up in society. And you start to see the patterns. Especially if you dealt with several narcissists in your life. But many people, they just shrug and say, no one could be that evil. Or no one could do such a thing. But we think to ourselves, if the narcissists that were in our lives had the money and the power to do such things, you bet your bottom dollar they would be doing them. But here's the other scary part. Narcissists, many of them anyway, operate in the gray so long. When they do something really overt and out there, people have been so trained and hypnotized almost by the narcissist to not believe what they just witnessed even though they just witnessed it. Then this narcissist can slip right back into the gray, manipulating and pretending to be caring and kind. I've seen bosses so-called work with an employee to help develop them. And at the end of the day, all that was accomplished was this person that was being so-called helped, one way or another lost their job. Or they got put in a bad situation where they had to give up their job. Meanwhile you would never know it. Because they've learned to ask, how are you doing? Each time they see you. To pretend they care. To tell you if you need anything at all. Please know I'm here to support you. All things a caring person might say to you. And they make sure that they keep their outward appearance like that. And even when they have you in a closed office when it's just you and them, they might go on and on how they care. But the moves they are making with your job, you see, don't reflect care. Or trying to develop you. And they do this. So when you do lose your job, or are forced to give it up, they can maintain to others. They were trying to help you all along. So no one can ever put their finger on what was really going on. And what was really wrong about that situation. This is the real danger of narcissism. Most of us know growing up in a home with a narcissist parent or parent. If we had a covert narcissist for a parent, that is the tactic they most likely used against us. In my case, my narcissist parent was indeed an overt narcissist. But she was a covert manipulator. And very, very cunning and smart about getting people to think what she wanted them to think. And most of the time she wanted people to think she was the victim somehow. And she did so. By presenting a perfect caring parent image to others. And putting me in situations that made me look like a terrible son. And though the people looking on, if they aren't flying monkeys, if they are normal good-hearted people, even if they get a feeling something is off, they just can't put their finger on what is truly happening or happened in our home. And us as targets to this treatment, we couldn't put our finger on what was happening. I mean, I knew something was wrong at the age of around 7. But I didn't know I couldn't change it. And I didn't know it was something that would keep happening over and over and over again like it did. I didn't know it was narcissism. Or even what narcissism was. And this is the problem. The explanation of narcissism. Narcissism can be many things. But it's most dangerous as it's that thing you can't put your finger on what you are dealing with. And I think that's the thing that some miss when explaining this problem. Some get it. Some tell you to slow down. Because truly this is the only way you can put your finger on what is happening. It's okay to sit back and think. Wait a minute. These actions don't add up. And though I'm a forgiving person, It doesn't mean I need to continue to spend time with such a person either. Again, I say, act like you're in the Matrix. And imagine the agent is swinging at you and you are able to see the punch in slow motion down to where you can see the lines on the agent's hand and count them. You want to slow things down that much. Because thinking at normal speed, you will miss things. And that's what the narcissist wants. They know most people will just skip right over it. They will scratch their heads and then forget about it. That's the image you should have in your mind regarding the narcissist. The target that is slowly put through this process is scratching their heads. Thinking, what the heck was that? Like they just looked at a three-headed dog cross the street. Then they come to their senses and say, there is no such thing. As an example. And they go right along with their daily lives. Only to be put in other situations like this by the narcissist. The only way you are going to be able to put your finger on it, so to speak, is to slow things down. And is to understand what you're up against. And though I tell people to be optimistic regarding the people they meet, I also tell people to be careful. Because though there are still decent people in the world, many of you watching this video are proof of that. But we must understand and realize, we live in a culture where narcissism is getting more normal and accepted. To where I think, and this is just my opinion, but I believe many of the major corporations providing training to their managers, which is basically nothing more than narcissism training. And this is something I want to talk more about. But if any of you have seen those that you work for go to these manager workshop at these big companies, or you've been there yourself, you will see how they teach you how to walk up to the line of lying and not doing what is right for your workers, while appearing to do so. And they teach all of this to their managers in a fun, exciting way. Like it's not something that is evil and wrong, but a new and fun way to do business. This is why you are seeing more and more managers, I believe, and in my humble opinion, that have this problem across most companies. And you see those that have a heart, and those that have empathy. They want nothing to do with such positions. They tend to stay right where they are at, or move into the highest paying job they can get without being a manager. And you might hear, well, being a manager isn't for everyone. But the reality is, many people don't want such a role because they haven't put their finger completely on the problem, but they have an idea of what it entails. Narcissists and narcissism is a tricky and morphing and destructive thing. And it is such a thing because unless you can view things in slow motion, most of what many narcissists do in the world goes right over most people's heads. And the ones that can kind of see what is going on don't want to get involved. And I don't blame them one darn bit. Well, that's all I have for now. Please tell me what you think in the description box below. Also, don't forget to like and share to let YouTube know this type of content is very important to you. And don't forget to subscribe to be a part of this channel's growth. And don't forget to click the little bell to be notified each and every time I make a new video. Also, if you would like to support even further, you can do so by the way of Patreon. And if you are already supporting by the way of Patreon, I humbly say thank you. With that said, I do hope your day is blessed. And until next time, bye for now. And be good to yourself.